Hi, this is Mark from Trip Solo. Today I would like to show you a game called Tapestry. It's a game designed by Jamey Stegmaier. Thank you Stonemaier Games for sending me this game for review. This game is for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 plus. It takes about 90 to 120 minutes. And this is a civilization game where you have to create the civilization, and you will start at the beginning of humankind and reach into the future. In Tapestry you can advance in 4 different tracks: science, technology, exploration and military. You must get victory points and you have to progress, and you can fight with other players. You can explore new tiles on the board. You can research new technology and science and become better and better. This game comes with a lot of cool contents. It has 18 unique painted miniatures and a lot of tokens, cards and stuff like this. So let's open this game. This is as you can see, huge box full of stuff. So let's open it and take a peek inside. Okay. The cover image is very nice. You can see, a civilization in progress from ancient times to even some, science and space. Okay, so what do we have here? The first thing we have inside is the rulebook, and this is a very short rulebook. It has only 4 pages, and this was advertised when the game was released, but you don't really have to spend countless hours, learning the rules. So everything should be very intuitive, and you will learn the game from this rulebook and from some, reference sheets that comes with this game. And this is the important part for me, because this is Tapestry Automa. It was created by Automa Factory. They are also on the box here, and they create solo mode for most Stonemaier games. You also have 4 pages, so nothing really complicated. And then there is something called Shadow Empire variant, and this is an option when you play with when you play a 2-player game. You can add an Automa opponent, so you will feel like playing a 3-player game. And this variant, the advances on some tracks and takes you some landmarks and makes your life more more difficult, but it's like another opponent for the game. So if you play a 2-player game and you feel like you would like to have more challenge, you can add this virtual opponent to your game. And this is the reference guide. You have 2 of them. They are double-sided. One page, one side explains all the actions that happen on the 4 advanced tracks: military, technology, science and exploration. The other page explains all the technology cards you can find in the game. So this is cool. If you play solo, you can just lay it on the table and you have everything within the reach of your hand. And here we have the civilization boards. You have a lot of civilizations in this game, and every one of them plays different. They are printed on nice paper, and you have entertainers, architects, craftsmen, and alchemists, militants. They all have different abilities. Let me focus. As you can see, merrymakers, And you combine a civilization board with the main game board, and then you have the capital board. If you combine all them together, you have a lot of replayability in this game. Every time you play it, it will be different. Heralds, historians, futurists, traders. As you can see, every civilization focus on different area of of development. Some focus on trade, some on science, some on military, like mystics. And if you pick or you can pick one or randomize one, shuffle, and give every player civilization to choose from. You have to read the special abilities, so you know how to play your civilization. Cool. As you can see, a lot of the civilizations. Here we have the very cool player board. So let's open it. Let me take my knife, and don't want to damage it. Okay, let me open the board. We also have a few other components inside. It's nice that it was packed this way, because it won't get damaged in transportation. Okay, what do we have here? Here we have the capital city maps, where you put different buildings and landmarks to gain more victory points and to advance your civilization. You have different terrain types. You have mountain, wetland, tropical, desert, and grassland, and forest. So as you can see, if you take a civilization and you combine it with forest, it plays probably a little different than if you combine it with mountain. The boards look a little like a Tetris game. The dots are the spots that are already reserved. You cannot put any buildings on the dotted spaces. So you have to think how to put the buildings on this mat in order to get more points. And the design is really great, as you can see. All the images and all the pictures and the design of the boards is really cool. And here we have it's called, I think, a landmark board, where you put different landmarks and you put it on the table, and when you advance on a specific track, like technology, military, science, exploration, you can get a landmark and put on your capital city board. And here we have the main player board. Here you have the 5 eras of the game, where you lay out your tapestry cards and you progress with your civilization. Here is the space to count your resources, and here are the places where you put the small buildings, markets, houses, armories, farms. You can also score some points here. Here is a handy guide how every income turn looks like. It's a cool mat. You have how many of them? Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 are for the players, and the last one is for Automa. This is a hard version of Automa, and this is a easy version of Automa. I really like the thing that all Stonemaier games have Automa play is included, and if you play solo mode in Stonemaier games, you don't feel that this is like a mode added at the last moment of designing the game, because it always feels very good, and it plays great. It gives you some gives you a challenge to win with Automa. You can adjust the difficulty here, and yeah, it's cool. And here are the terrain tiles, the exploration tiles that you can discover during your game and lay on the board. You have 3 like punch boards. These are for the main map, and these are for, you know, when you conquer space, Star Trek style. You can, you know, get these tiles and score additional victory points and resources and stuff like this. 3 of them. Cool. And here is the here is the game board. Let me show you how it looks like. I don't want to damage anything. More or less this looks like this. I will not open the whole board because I don't have enough space here. You have the game board is 2-sided. One side is for when you play with 2-player, 1, 2 or 3 players, and the second side is for 4+ players. It's written here. The board for more players is like the main map is bigger, and you know, the version for 1 to 3 players is smaller, so you will have easier with attacking your opponent and, you know, meeting each other on the map. Every side of the board has 4 tracks. As I said before, it's military, technology, you know, it's exploration and science, and you can progress on these tracks, gain some benefits, gain cards, attack your enemy. It depends what track you choose. It's all up to you. What kind of it's impossible to progress on all 4 tracks, so probably when you play the game you'll have to focus on 1 or 2. And the map looks great. It's like a view of a big, let's say, big island or big terrain from airplane from the top. You have some, you know, clouds and trees, and it looks great. And when you have this terrain tiles, let me punch one. You place them on a map like this. I don't know, let's say we can do something like this. So the board is more and more filled during the game, filled up. It looks really, really nice. The design is, as I said before, I really like the design of this game. Well, it looks really cool. And here we have the dice. They are custom dice. You have 3 of them. This one is used for a science track, and these 2 dice are used for combat. Yeah, really, really nice. There are so many elements that I don't have enough space to put them here. Some bags to store the elements when you open everything. Nothing very interesting to see. And here we have the cards. 2 decks of cards. As you can see, there are so many components. The box is packed full. So here are the Tapestry cards that you have to put on your player mat every era. And these cards give you some benefits. Sometimes they give you a benefit for the whole era of the game, and sometimes they give you benefit when played, so like one-time bonuses. And there are a lot of them, like Age of Wonders, Alliance, you know, Broker of Peace, Capitalism. Yeah, very nice graphics on the cards. When you look at all the components and you think about how many of them there are, every gameplay of this game is really, really different. I mean, it's not possible to see all the cards and all the elements during one gameplay. You have a lot of civilizations and a lot of landmarks and cards and everything, so this is nice. Apart from Tapestry cards, you also have some trap cards that you can play. They look the same on the back, but when you have them in your hand, you can play the trap cards when someone wants to attack you, and then like you are victorious because you was able to set a trap. Here are some reference cards. You know, a few of them. This is for Automa. And okay, let's put it here. Second deck of cards. These are the Automa cards and the technology cards that you can get. Technology cards also give you some bonuses when you research a new technology card. It gives you bonuses 2 times during the game if you are able to progress and, you know, research the technology even more. You have air conditioning, ammonia, anesthesia, a lot of them. Barn, this one for example, it gives you a building that you can play on your capital mat. They give you different bonuses like resources, victory points. Like this is food and this is culture. A lot of them. Library, telescope, the nail, time traveler, vaccines. This might be very very important right now with our COVID situation. Zeppelins. So these are the technology cards, and here you have Automa cards. Automa is handled like most Stonemaier games. You have a deck of cards, you take the cards, and it tells you, I will not explain all the icons here, but it tells you what to do, what the Automa gets, how it can score points. It works similar in Wingspan and in, you know, Charterstone, My Little Scythe, and, you know, Viticulture, every Stonemaier Games title, and also some reference cards. And now we have I'm not sure if the most important part, but very important in my opinion, all the nicely, okay, let me open, nicely painted miniatures. And these are the landmarks that you can get by progressing on different tracks, and you can put them on your capital city mat, and they look really nice. I remember that when the game came out, and some people complained about, you know, the buildings, about the paint quality, but I'm more than happy to have them painted, because I'm not a painter. I don't paint my minis in games, and they look much better than, like, you know, the usual gray color. If you put them on your mat, and your capital really starts to look like a big city. You have a lot of them, as you can see. Oops. The quality is really nice, I must say. I have no complaints. They look really cool. So a lot of them. Then we have the markers for each player. I will not open them because you have some, or maybe I open one of them. Let's pick up, let's say, the blue one. Where are my seagulls? Okay, so here are the tokens for each player. You get the cubes that you put on different tracks on the main board, and here you have the, I'm not sure how they are called, outposts that tells that mark the tiles that you conquered on the main board. So every player gets one set of these markers. You have gray one, and you have green one, so you can pick the color you like, especially when you play solo. And here are the markers for resources. Let me show you. The star is the culture. These are workers. They look similar to Charterstone workers. And this is food, and this is, I think this is gold, yeah, or some, supplies. I think it's gold. Okay. And every player gets a set 4 of these, and he puts it on his player mat to track how many resources does he have every round. And here are the small buildings, the farms and outposts. You have 4 different types of buildings, but first you put on your player mat, and if you progress during the game, you can put them on your capital city board to fill it. They also look very, very nice, all the details. Okay, let me check something. I don't want to name them, but these are markets. And now we will see, I will show you houses. Okay, here are the houses, gray ones. Okay, and then we have farms, brown one. Okay, and the last one are armories. Okay, so they are really cool. They take one place, one spot on your capital city mat, and these landmarks take more spaces. Like as you can see on the bottom, they are much bigger. So as you could see, the production quality of this game is awesome. You have a lot of beautiful components and cards and tokens and miniatures and dice and everything. So thank you for watching, and visit my Instagram. I will post some photos, review, and I will let you know what I think about this game. Thank you very much. Bye bye.